Hello, everybody. Alex Warner along with videographer Nick Schmidt as we continue our series on the downtown businesses of Greenville in conjunction with Main Street Greenville. Today, we're going to have three different businesses we're going to show you here on the Wave Channel 5. And with us today is Pam Sharp from Merle Norman Cosmetics down here on South Broadway. And Pam, let's talk just a little bit about your background. How long have you been involved in this? And then let's talk just a little bit about Merle Norman and how long they've been around.
Okay. I've owned the studio for 4 years. It'll be 4 years in April. Merle Norman has actually been in Greenville for over 60 years.
Over 60 years? Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, didn't know that.
Merle Norman actually has been in existence for over 80, so Greenville's been a big part of it for a large portion of that time.
Now, was Merle Norman a real person, or is that just the name of the business?
No, Merle Norman was a lady. She started at the height of the Depression and started making her cosmetics at home, inviting ladies in and giving them samples to take out, and it created the try before you buy concept. And
you still have that philosophy today?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. So a person comes in and they say, well, what do you have with it? And then they take it home, and if they don't like it after a while, they can bring it back and get a refund or exchange?
Right. Well, I will send samples home with them, but if for any reason they're not satisfied with the product after purchasing, yes, they can return it for a refund, credit, another product.
Yeah. Okay, so you've owned this for 4 years. Is that like a franchise that you buy into then?
Yes, it's definitely a franchise. It's a pretty lengthy process. It took me an entire weekend to fill out the application. Carried it around for about 3 or 4 days, scared to drop it in. But then we had 2 interviews by phone. Then it had to go before a board, seeing if they felt I was qualified to do this. Then I went to LA for 2 weeks of training.
Okay.
And then, but when I decided to move the studio, I had to have that approved. I had to have everything across the street on either side of me, pictures of it, descriptions of what it was. Once that was approved, then I had to send in panoramic views of the existing building with dimensions. They had their design team design it all.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was thinking about that. So before you bought it, this was located where? It's been located a few places, correct?
It has. The previous owner was just a block down the street. So I just decided for what Merle Norman wanted me to do, this was more conducive to the look that they wanted.
Okay. And so you've been here 4 years. Well, let's talk a little bit about you. How did you get involved in this? And let's talk a little bit, of course, you're a local girl, so let's talk just a little bit about your background and how you ended up in this type of business.
Well, I was a hairdresser for 40 years. Worked in large salons, small salons. The last salon I worked was in Arcanum for 25 years. Started doing makeups there. We didn't retail. I just did it for proms, weddings, whatever. After the previous owner passed away, one of my customers was talking to me one day, and she said, you'd be really good at taking over, what she had done. And it just kind of resonated, and that was the process.
And
just
so
started.
Now you're your own boss, right?
And that's good and bad.
How did you happen to decide to stay in the downtown area then?
I just decided that this is what the previous customers knew. I felt it was more visible, probably, than maybe being out somewhere else. And two, I have such good memories of shopping downtown with my parents growing up, and I kind of wanted to stay with that feel, and just kind of be part of downtown.
Yeah, we've been hearing that from several of the people we've talked to, that downtown feeling, so that's great. Wait, let's talk a little bit then. We're going to take a look at some of the products you carry and everything. Your typical customer, do you get like teenagers in? So you run the gamut from teenagers up through people in their 80s, maybe 90s, correct?
Exactly. A lot of women bring their daughters and granddaughters in. Maybe they're not applying it correctly. A lot of it is skincare, especially when they're young. You've got to have good skin care, and it's never too young or too early to start with that, because no amount of makeup's going to hide, bad skin.
I'd have to buy it by the gallon bucket to get rid of this. But,
but and as I get older, I've increased my product usage, just to help fight wrinkles and dryness and different things like that. But I also do makeups for prom, weddings, any special event.
So you not only sell the product, then you also will do the makeup for special events like that, weddings, et cetera, correct?
Exactly. And there is a charge for that. But now if they want to come in for, we call it a mini express facial, and then we go into product knowledge and application, there's no charge for that ever. Okay. So it's just special event makeup that I charge for.
Okay, so now this is a little different because me being male, you don't have a lot of men come in. Do you carry men's products?
No, I did at the beginning. They didn't go well. But men do need moisturizers and toners and good cleansers. So, but I do have some men that come in and get the moisturizers. One of my best customers is a mailman. And the previous owner started him on, it's actually a night cream, but it helps protect his skin when he's out in the elements. So
his skin doesn't crack and dry out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was getting at it. We probably should have a female in here because she probably asks a little more pertinent questions. But we'll get through this, okay? We're doing all right. All right, so let's suppose somebody comes in first time, really have never been into makeup too much. What do? You sit down and kind of take a look at skin tone and coloring and so forth?
Yes, I look at their skin, ask pertinent questions, what their major concerns are, if they are allergic to anything or sensitive, kind of get a feel for what they're wanting also. And sometimes I get very generic answers at the beginning, but then as we delve into it, then I find out that maybe they do have some skin issues that they want to discuss. And we have a complete line. We can fit anybody's needs, anybody's. So, we just kind of start from the beginning, go from there. And I usually start them out on good skin care. I think sometimes if I do everything at once, it's overwhelming to them. So we just kind of start out a little bit at a time.
Let's take a look at some of the products you have. So we'll start with some of the skincare products and then get into some of the other things here. And we'll kind of move the camera around a little bit here and just let you know, again, you're watching the Shops of Downtown Greenville here on the Wave Channel 5. Back here at Merle Norman Cosmetic with owner Pam Sharp. And Pam, somebody walks in off the street. Let's talk a little bit about some of the products you have here that somebody just wants a moisturizer, cleanser, that kind of thing. What do you have?
Right. Well, we've got a lot of different things. One of the things that I really like, and this is good for any skin, is the cleansing waters. Europe and Asia are usually a little bit further ahead of us. They've been using cleansing waters for a long time. What this does, you put it on a cotton pad, and it actually floats the dirt out. It goes down deeper. I use this first to get everything off, and then go back in with a cleanser, for a particular skin type, but it just leaves your skin feel so clean, and it's got a lot of botanicals in it. So they try to stay as natural as they can and use a lot of botanicals in their product.
When you say botanicals, what are we talking about? I mean, I've heard that. What are botanicals?
Like chamomile,
different herbs kind of thing?
Different herbs, exactly. Very soothing herbs. They'll put lavender in things. Chamomile is very soothing to the skin. Cucumber extract.
Cucumber, you see people going to spas and so forth, and they get mud baths and whatever else you guys do. But then you put cucumber slices on your eyes. What's the power of a cucumber slice or a cucumber extract?
It can actually reduce inflammation, reduce puffiness. Okay. So they're very concerned with skin type. Some people tend to have rosacea, ruddiness to their skin. It just helps calm the skin, soothe the skin. So they try to put as many botanicals in for specific skin types. Okay. So, but I love the cleansing water, and your skin doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like there's been a product on it. It just feels very good and clean.
And you say Europe usually is a little ahead of the U.S. as far as these type of products. Exactly. Why is that, I wonder?
I really, I don't know. I know that they have very beautiful women in Europe. Maybe they're just maybe a little more conscientious about it. I don't know. Okay. I'm not really
sure. We ask these questions, we try to find answers. Okay. Exactly. And then what do we have over here?
Okay, this is just kind of a basic daily moisturizer, and everybody needs moisture to their skin. And there's a big difference between moisture and oil. So moisture just helps smooth out the wrinkles, gives some puffiness. As we get older, we're just not as puffy and full as we used to be when we were young. So we're trying to recreate maybe more of a youthful look. Okay. So, and this is just a good basic moisturizer, but we have different types for different skin types too.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you see mostly? Do you see people have oily skin or dry skin, or you just run the gamut from one to the other, right?
Yes, exactly. In the wintertime, definitely more dry because of the elements, more heat. Some women need to change their regimen in the springtime, as it gets warmer. My skin tends to change, so I change my makeup type. I don't use as much moisturizer, or I use a different type. So definitely, and it's constantly changing. And your diet, the elements, DNA, there's so many different factors, medications, it all affects,
Now, where do Merle Norman products, where are they manufactured or made? Are they made here in the States then, or just at one plant, or all over?
They're basically made in Los Angeles. They do have certain hubs. Most of my products come from Memphis, and I do think that they have a plant there, but the majority of them are made in Los Angeles. And their offices, their plants, encompass several city blocks. It's a huge corporation.
Let me ask you this then. We're talking about this. We're going to take a look at some other things they have too, but you carry like perfumes and everything of that nature?
Yes.
I didn't know that. You do? Oh, I'm glad I brought that up.
We have a body lotion. The best perfume, it's the newest, is called Hussy. And
I've known a few of those in my day.
Actually, Merle Norman owned a red touring car, and she called it Hussy. And so I do have to explain that to people, but it's been a big seller. The other perfume that they have is called Décolleté. It's a little heavier scent. The Hussy is more light. It's more floral, and it's been a very good seller. So, and we also have some body lotions. So yes, we run the gamut of everything, and anything that a major company would have. Without naming names, Merle Norman has also. They keep a close eye. All the companies keep a close eye on what they're doing.
I bet, yeah. Industry secrets, right?
Yes, for sure.
Let's take a look at. So this kind of surprised me when we came in here. I was expecting the cosmetics and everything, but you've got different accessories and everything. So we'll swing the camera around in just a second and take a look at some of the other accessories, and then take a look at eyeliners and blushes. And I'm just throwing words out there, folks. I hear my wife use them. I don't know. Anyhow, we'll be back in just a second here on Channel 5. Let's take a look at some of the different accessories you carry, because again, I just was kind of caught unaware that you have all these different products here. Let's just talk about some of this and some of the things we have behind us.
Sure. I try to carry things for prom girls, for weddings. I have headbands. I have barrettes and combs to put in the hair. And then I have just regular jewelry that somebody, just might want to wear out. I order my jewelry from New York. I try to keep it more one of a kind so that you don't see yourself coming and going. And I really like this part of it. And I have evening bags also. So, but I've always been interested in jewelry. And so it just seemed like a natural fit. But there again, anything extra that you sell in your studio has to be approved by Merle Norman.
So you just can't bring something in without their consent.
Exactly. Well, you can, but
Hopefully don't get caught, right?
Right.
You were saying something about you got some new soaps in here?
Yes. This is from the Brown Bag Soap Company out of Union City. It has sold remarkably well. It's just a good bath soap, but it comes in different scents. And it has, there again, a lot of natural things to it. But it just makes your bathroom smell good, makes your skin smell good. So it's just something I started about a month ago, and it has gone over wonderfully well.
Great.
So.
Great. And then I see over here, we've got, are these boas, or what do you call these things over here?
Those are just scarves.
Those are just scarves?
Yes.
We've got like a million of them hanging over here.
Right.
Where do you get all this stuff from then? You said you get your jewelry and accessories, a lot of that from New York. Just online, or do you have the catalogs, or you go there, or what?
A little bit of both. Most of my jewelry and evening bags I order online, and I've been surprised a few times. I mean, maybe not the quality I want, or just wasn't exactly what I was expecting. My niece makes the scarves. So, and I try to help people. I've had different people that make jewelry, so I'm trying to help them also, because it's kind of hard to get started. And so just to get their name out there, and, but the scarves have done great. So,
while I'm thinking about it, are you a one-woman shop, or do you have somebody cover for you? You got to take a break once in a while. I assume you can't live here practically.
I do have some people that do help me on Saturday. I just recently hired somebody. She's young. She's going to be going to school soon to become a nail tech and an esthetician, because in Ohio, you do have to have a license to apply makeup. So at this point, she's not doing anything like that. But she has come up with some of the best ideas, and she's bubbly. She's updated my Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
She's been a great asset.
Okay. Well, that's good to have somebody on hand like that. Yeah. We're going to take a look here in just a minute. We're going to go take a look at some of the other products that are carried here at Merle Norman. And again, you're located where on South Broadway?
Well, my address is 309 South Broadway. I'm directly across from Danny's place, right next door to Beltone.
Yeah, and then right here, just a couple doors down from the Circle. So
yes.
on the post office side, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, we'll be back in just a second and take a look at some other things they offer here at Merle Norman. Before we take a look at some of the different products that Merle Norman carries, let me ask you this. Makeup evolves over the years, constantly changing. Is there more of a tendency for my wife asked me to ask you this question, a natural look now, or how's this all come about?
Yes, I think it does change and it evolves. Right now for spring, they're showing a very natural look. Usually in the winter months, they do a heavier, maybe more of a smoky eye. But I think most of the time in spring and summer, unless it's for a special event, women want to look more natural. And plus, you're outside, right, and you don't want to have that heavy makeup look on your face. It's definitely more evident.
Okay, well, that makes sense even to me. Okay, so speaking of eyes, I'm looking here at eyelashes, perfectly natural, it says, and then some of the other things we got here, the nail polishes and lipsticks. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. When I do especially bridal makeup, I really encourage them to use eyelashes. It makes the eyes stand out so much more in photographs, and we can, we have very natural ones, and some want over the top. Now, prom girls want really over the top lashes, but they want an over the top look normally. And Merle Norman just recently came out with their own line of lashes.
Okay, you can grab one.
Right.
What are those? Are those made out of real natural hair, are they, or what?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and those are just strip lashes.
There goes the whole display. It figures.
That's okay. Not a problem.
That's why they don't let men in these places too often.
Strip lashes basically are meant to be worn just for the evening. They come off, but they can be reused again. Then I do carry some nail polishes and nail hardeners and.
OPI, I see. Is that the one that's got kind of the funny names and everything, or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Yeah, I think my wife had one, Aren't You Glad You're Not in New York, or something like that. What's the difference between an eyeliner and eyeshadow?
Oh.
Or is there?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Eyeshadow is the color that you put on the eye.
Okay.
Eyeliner is the line that you make at the baseline, and that normally it's black or brown, but you can do colors. But eyeshadow is the color you actually put on the eyelid or maybe up in this area.
Okay. And then what's the difference between blush and I'm about rouge? Is there something called rouge? Rouge and blush?
Rouge is more of an old term, although Merle Norman does have a cream that they do call rouge. But through the centuries, decades, it's turned into blush. It's not called rouge. When I was starting out, it was rouge, but it's more of a natural look now. So you just kind of want to look like you're just blushing a little bit.
Well, I'm blushing after I knocked several products over here. Hey, let's take a look at lipsticks then. Is that what we've got? Where am I? Here we are.
Yes, we are at lipsticks. We have everything from lip polishes to regular lipsticks. The age-defying is for somebody that maybe has a little bit more dry lips. The newest thing right now are matte lipsticks. Merle Norman carries a complete line of those.
So there's one with a little duller-like look to it.
No shine whatsoever. I'm not a fan of those. Anytime you don't have light on something, whether it's your lips, your eyes, whatever, it tends to give a more aging look. So I prefer a little bit of shine just to give a more youthful look. Something that's very popular.
Yeah, what's this?
Is our Lip Pencil Plus. It has a lip liner and the color all in one. Stays on very well. It tends to be a little more matte, so I will put maybe a gloss over it. But we have, I think, like 30 colors of these, and these sell very, very well. So, and then we just have the regular lipsticks. It's my sister.
We've got a customer coming in the door.
Right. So, but we have a lot of different colors, a lot of new spring colors. Pink is the big spring color.
Do most women do a pretty, and this is kind of a loaded question, do most of your customers do a pretty good job of applying their own makeup, or do they need a lot of pointers as new products come out? That's a loaded question, right?
It just depends. They might do well in one area, but usually people need help in the eye area and brows. They're always asking me how to do brows, because as we age, we tend to lose the brows. So you want to keep more of a natural look. I prefer the brow powders over a pencil. I think a pencil is harsher looking. But yeah, I mean, and they're not shy. They come in and they say, I don't know how to do this. Nobody taught me how. And I always tell people, this is my perception. And everybody has, I think, their own perception. This happens to be mine. Most of the time, I'm pretty good. But
well, we're going to about wrap things up here. Your hours here at the store?
Tuesday through Thursday, 10 to 5. Friday 10 to 4, and Saturday 10 to 2. Although I do stay later if somebody needs me to. All they have to do is give me a call, and I'm be glad to. I've come in on Mondays. I've come in on Sundays. So I try to accommodate the customer.
Great. Well, this has been Pam Wagner Sharp here at Merle Norman. Hey, thanks for taking the time. And you folks out there, Merle Norman's been around 80 years, you said, and in Greenville for 60, and in this location here on South Broadway for the last 4 years. So thanks a lot, Pam, and we certainly appreciate your time. And you folks out there, once again, patronize these downtown businesses. They're kind of the heartbeat of the Greenville community. We'll be back in just a minute as we move our camera on down the street here to the Ivy League. Once again, you're watching the Downtown Series here on the Wave, Channel 5, Greenville Public Access TV.